What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios, and welcome to the first episode of what I hope to be a fairly fun and entertaining series on Ashen. Now, for those of you that don't know, Ashen is kind of a... I would personally dub it something like a Dark Souls meets The Witness art style with a storyline from Journey. But if you don't know what any of those references are, then it's not really going to help you very much. It's been out for a little bit, but I was a little skeptical of getting into it just because it required me to download a whole new thing. It was part of the Epic Game Store thing. It wasn't on Steam, or it's at least not yet. And I would have liked to go through Steam, but frankly I just didn't feel like waiting any longer because it's like TBD on Steam, so I just figured I'd go ahead and get it. And I like Dark Souls gameplay and stuff like that, but I never really featured it on my channel just because it was a little probably darker and more intense than what a lot of my viewership is kind of used to. So Ashen was kind of a good little hybrid where it's got a less dark tone and there's not as much gore and monsters kind of thing. It's a little more simplistic and fun, in my opinion, and a little bit more on that creative side where it's a little more, not whimsical, but interesting type of thing. Very unique, whereas the Dark Souls art style is still very medieval fantasy kind of thing. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm probably not going to talk too much during cutscenes and stuff like that, just because I'm listening to the story as well. So I want to let you guys hear it and stuff too. Keep in mind, this is the first playthrough type thing, so I'm still working out stuff like settings, if the audio's too loud, too quiet, if I'm too loud and the game's too quiet, and things like that. Feel free to let me know in the comments. If it sounds great, fine. You know, you can let me know that too if you want. So let's go ahead. I think I have the settings all squared away. So let's just go ahead and get started. Ooh, okay. So this is one example of the art style. So it's very minimal, but yet still has detail to it. It's very interesting. So it's fairly simple, like you're either masculine, feminine, and some of us can talk, some of us can't. And then you got hairstyle, which is kind of cool. I think we're going to do the firebrand, probably. Methinks. But it's really interesting, like, they don't even have faces, and I'm kind of curious if that will factor into the story at all, or if that's, you know, if that's just the way the art style is, and it's nothing too fancy. I kind of wanted a beard, though. I don't really have a beard option. We've got, like, just the chin, or just the, like, mustache area type of thing. I kind of wanted a full beard. I could go with the Cavalier. Yeah, I kind of like that look. I'm going to go with that. Hair color. I'm noticing a pattern here with the color palette. It tends to be a lot of the same. I think I'm going to actually leave it the default. I like that. And that I'm going to leave as well. So there's no, like, character names or anything like that. It's very simple character customization, but it works. It's pretty simple, but to the point. Also has a bit of an Ico feel as well, like this kind of stuff. The shadow, light runes, things like that. Really has an Ico feel to me.
Among the stars, the Ashen fly. Beneath, the 9 realms move among the Tree of Worlds' many branches. Proudly standing upon the darkness, its roots delving into caverns where light will never venture. It was when a single great Ashen flew down to rest upon her boughs that the light woke among the realms.
It has almost an interstellar soundtrack at the moment. It's kind of cool. I really like this so far.
After eons, the great Ashen grew weak with age and fell from the Tree of Worlds, resting upon the plains of darkness, drawing what few breaths remained. In the throes of death, the light dimmed, and the Ashen's final 3 breaths became the 3 golden ages of light. The first age saw 3 creatures of the dark plains rise above all others. The Elder Dark fed upon the light and thrived. The second marked the coming of the Listener matriarchs, titans who revered the light. The third breath was the age of man, Geffin's children. When the final breath ended, there would be a time of darkness. In that black age, the cities of man fell into ruin, toppled by war and emptied by pestilence and famine. Proud Lathyrus drowned beneath the ash.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it definitely has a hybrid Dark Souls ico.
From dust to flesh, from darkness to radiance. Soon the Ashen will be reborn from the ruins of its old body, and a new age of light will begin. I served the Ashen long ago, a guardian to its waning light, even though it broke me with its brilliance. Now, look to the mountain peak, for that is where fresh hope blooms. The Ashen is reborn. Behold the first glimmer of the light that will sweep the darkness from these plains.
I gotta admit, I love that voice actor. He has a really cool, like, mentor-type tone to him.
The cliffs ahead should provide a good vantage point. Beware, the rebirth of the Ashen will be violent. If you stare at a campfire too long, you'll dull your senses, and the Ashen is brighter than 1,000 campfires.
He's gotta be somebody different, though, because he's freaking huge by comparison. I'm assuming that, me and this guy, I don't know if he's, I didn't want to do that.
The cliffs ahead should provide a good if you stare at.
I have learned from all my years of Dark Souls that you always talk to NPCs until they have nothing left to say. I guess we're headed over here, since it's the... Well, that's cool looking. Yeah, I really dig the art style. The art style of this is one of the biggest draws to me. It looks really cool. I'm still playing around with settings. At the moment, it seems okay, though I am having a few little frame rate hitches here and there. But I think my FPS on even OBS is holding, so...
Suckers, nothing but trouble.
Whoa! Hey. Let's not get carried away here.
Them shadows, they's always watching. Soft rabbit, corn rabbit, fur and rabbit pie.
I really, really hope that's a soft kitty, warm kitty reference from Big Bang Theory. I really hope they did that on purpose.
Get away with you. Not safe, never safe. Keep your mitts off me, Rock.
I'm not gonna take your rock.
Walking with shadows, you are.
Huh.
Keep the light, hide it, keep it, save it.
Interesting.
Round, round the fires, round. 1 and 2s, them with the lives.
1s and 2s.
The rabbits know. Them has the ears, you see. Get away with you. Not safe, not safe. No. Ash, sucker.
Okay, so she's starting to repeat. This does definitely seem like it has an Ico Dark Souls, like, deeper philosophical style story to it, not just your stereotypical, there's an evil thing that's taking over the world. You know, so definitely probably going to be paying attention a little bit more to every little thing people say. This seems... Okay, what do we got? Broken bone hatchet. An axe of bone, primitive yet brutal. So we can switch panels. We can take it. Okay, item bone. Or item added. Okay, so we got our panel here. Broken Spike Club. Looks like 39 of... What's the fist? Is that going to be melee or blunt? Let's see. 30 to 36? I don't know what the white and the black circles are. An axe of bone, primitive yet brutal. Finesse matters little when fighting for your survival. You improvise or you die. That is the way of our world from Cole. Interesting. So, if I equip that, that's 30. What does this say? 39. So it's possible there's an upgrade type thing to it. It doesn't look like it's blunt or slicing damage, so... But actually, this is worse in every way. It has less damage and less stun. Oh, it does have a critical hit chance. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I've seen some gameplay on this before, and it looks really cool, like the way they have it set up. Like, we've got your armor slot. This looks like a spear slot, which I've actually seen gameplay of where you can actually use the spear as a melee or a thrown, which is pretty cool. Scoria, I'm not sure what that is. I think that's currency? Belt, shield, two-handed weapon slot. Now this is interesting too. It's not just like a second weapon set, like with stuff like Path of Exile or things like that where you can toggle between weapons. It's a two-handed or a one-handed slot. So that's kind of cool. Potion, consumable, and crimson sap. Now I think I read somewhere the crimson sap is kind of like an Estus flask. So we have artifacts, which don't know what that's going to do. Talisman, hearth, a reminder of home that provides a thin barrier against despair. Pressed closely against your chest, this relic recalls the warm comfort of a safe home and a full stomach. It serves as a thin barrier against despair. Spend long enough wandering and you forget what having a home feels like. So there's a talisman thing we end up working with, and that's very cool. Very, very cool. I like it. So we got more items over there. Let's explore a little bit. Can I... Okay, so what are my buttons? X isn't doing much. Square is probably going to be... I'm using a PlayStation 3 controller, by the way, in case anyone... Ooh, you can climb. Oh, visible wall. Okay. Kind of want a torch or something so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better, but I do like all of the lighting and stuff, too. It's really cool, so... Oh, there's the dodge button. Wow, so the controls and stuff are a lot like Dark Souls. Almost exact. And we got a sprint. Light it. Oh! Thanks, dude. Who is this guy, anyway? Oh, that's awesome. He's got, like, his cigar and everything. Kind of reminds me of a character from the Disney Atlantis movie, honestly. Ooh, a plank shield, okay. So take that. Stamina, stability, stamina regen is reduced by 75%. Scrap metal and hardwood bound together in the name of survival. So we'll equip that. It doesn't raise our defense, which is interesting. Okay, so that's your switch buttons with the D-pad. Whoa! Okay, you can switch your items with the down. What does this do? This may be a... Oh, is that a pulse? Or something? I can't tell if I'm... No, I didn't. I just didn't see that over here. Okay. Ooh, what is that? +2 max stamina. White Ashen feather acquired. Okay. What is it? Oh. Settings multiplayer. Use multiplayer filter, disable... Oh, disable AI companion. Okay, so he must be an AI companion. That makes sense, I guess. I didn't actually know this was... I mean, it does make sense if it's kind of mimicking Dark Souls that there would be a multiplayer component, but I didn't really think about it too much. It's interesting that whether you're in multiplayer or not, you still get a companion character. That's kind of cool. Although apparently you can turn it off. I imagine there'll be challenge run type things where people disable them or try and do it without them. It does concern me a little bit that they give you a companion early on, that it's like, you're gonna need him kind of thing. Ooh, okay, got a little bit of frame rate issue there.
Walking with shadows, you are. Soft that.
So
Rabbits know. Keep your mitts off me,
Alright, looks like I might have to play around a little bit with the settings still. In a lot of areas I seem to be doing okay. Can I swim? Alright, I want to get somewhere that's not so dark. But a lot of areas it seems to be holding up pretty well. Flames and smoke and things seem to be bothering my frames a little bit. So you guys will have to let me know if that bothers you or anything. I'm sure it will probably bother me before it bothers you guys. Because frame rate stuff really bothers me.
There are those that thrive in perpetual night and would extinguish these fledgling rays. We must find the Ashen and protect it from the Elder Dark.
Okay, and the Elder Dark was the first beings made of the first era, I think. There are a couple points like that where it, like, the sound just cuts out without fading. It's a little jarring, but I really do like the soundtrack and voice actors and things. It's awesome. And the art style is just great. I really thought people not having faces would bother me more, but it really doesn't. Okay. So now that's interesting. It was dark before, and that cliff blew up. I'm assuming it was connected to the Ashen thing. And now everything's lit up. Interesting. Oh, okay. So we have like a parry or a shield bash. I don't know if that's a parry or not. And we definitely have a block button. Okay. What do we got here? White, Sapote? Instantly heals a moderate amount of health. So that's like a life gem? And full disclosure, I'm going to be referencing a lot of Dark Souls. Like, that's, it gonna happen. It gonna happen. Can't help myself. Oh, okay, I just realized that the Y button, or the triangle button, is the jump. I thought that was just giving me contextual prompts for climbing, but it's actually a jump key. Cool. One of the few times you're supposed to go towards the light, apparently.
Sight. Our world once more bathed in ashen light. You have felt the power of the Ashen and survived. We will need that strength of yours. The Ashen is still a sleeping child, vulnerable. We must wake it from its slumber. Before we begin our journey, we must bind your spirit to a ritual stone. If misadventure takes you, the stone will act as a beacon from beyond death's veil. There's a ritual stone nearby, in the district called Vagrant's Rest. But I will need my hammer and spark to awaken it. You must find them.
If by misadventures, you mean death. You mean death, don't you? I hate you. Alright, I'm going to play around with the settings a little bit here, just to see if I can smooth out the frame rate a little bit more. Give me just a second. Alright, so I tweaked with my settings a little bit, and I think it's running a little bit smoother, and we didn't really lose too much. I'm mostly focused on shadow qualities and draw distance and things like that that aren't as noticeable. I wanted to keep all the volumetric lighting and post-processing and everything, because that's a lot of the appeal to moi. But I also noticed that we have a little bit of a tutorial mini-quest here to equip something. So now we have our 1 health item at the moment. I also noticed on accident, when I was clicking buttons, that I said you have this, like, shield bash. You can actually charge it if you hold the button. It comes out a lot stronger. So that's kind of cool. And also, apparently now that we're past the tutorial-ish area, we have a little health bar up there for our companion person. Whoever he is.
Barteron's hammer and spark. Most likely the vagrants have them. They're thieves and scavengers. They'll steal anything that's not chained down.
I really like the voice actors in this game. They're all really, really high quality so far. And they all have cool sounds in their voice. They're not just like, "Hi, everybody," like the commentator. They actually sound cool. Whoa! Whoa! Hey! Oh, dodge. I'm supposed to be dodging. How am I supposed to dodge everybody? He killed him too fast. Oh, that's awesome! They turned to ash. Brilliant. You guys with your themes that carry through the whole game. It's just brilliant. Vagrant's Rest. Oh, and I also found out we have a quest/map type of thing, which honestly is a huge improvement over Dark Souls. I hate it that they didn't give me a map. Zoom out, legend, zoom in. So I can't go any further. So I guess this little gold icon is like main quest. Barteron's, or Barteron? I'm not really sure how he's saying that. And Hammer and Spark have likely been salvaged by the vagrants living in Vagrant's Rest. But we can't be too sure. Search high and low inside every ruin, corpse, or copse? I'm not sure what that is. And rocky recess. I'm assuming it's, you know, some other kind of crevice. But I'm gonna go to where those 2 marker points are, because that seems like a good idea. That character style right there, though, like the one that attacked us a second ago, it kind of gave me a Xenoclash vibe. I think that's the game that I'm thinking of. Does anybody remember that one? It's like, it was like that weird one where everybody had, like, bird skull necklaces, and it all looked very, like, primitive type of thing. Everybody was, like, in primitive armor and garb, but it was some kind of, like, first-person action game or something. It was really weird. I don't think it... I'm so glad this guy is here. He serves as, like, a warning for everything. One thing I want to see, if he hadn't killed him so quick. I can't quite tell if a shield blocks all damage or not. In Dark Souls, there was the percentage type thing. It only did portions of damage. Do I have to heal him, by the way, or does he heal himself? Are you self-sufficient, Jokel? Jakel? I'm not sure how he's supposed to say his name. I'm actually not even sure that's how it's spelled or pronounced. I just think that was marginally kind of close. Alright, heavy attack. Yay! Tutorial complete. Now, can you charge the head? Oh, you can! Okay, so that's a bit of Bloodborne in there. That has a little pinch of Bloodborne in there that you can charge. Well, I think you might have been able to do that in Dark Souls 3. I haven't played 3 in a while. Actually, I haven't played any of them in a while. But I remember Bloodborne, that almost has a similar animation to it, even. Right, I definitely am not doing good at detecting people. Alright. Well, so far, it looks like it's just blocking all damage, which is amazing, if true. They might be going more stamina focused where you block all the damage, but it really drains your stamina to block or something. 'Cause it's about half. Dodging is about half the stamina that it takes to block, so they may be going more for a stamina based where the shield blocks everything, but it drains your stamina really quick, which would then leave you stunned. So we can do... Whoa! Okay then, that is a mace. And I did read, I was a little disappointed, especially because of the cool art style. I did read somewhere that there's no swords in the game. It's all axes and maces and hammers and stuff like that. They didn't actually do any swords. And I believe it was explained by the developers as essentially every game, everywhere, seems to have swords and they just wanted to do something different, which I get. But I'm a sword person. I love swords, so a little disappointed on that front. Yeah, I'm over here just like screwing around. I really like having a companion character. Oh, okay, he does kind of take care of himself. Cool. Cool, cool. Alright. That looks like a tent, so there's probably people. They're doing some... Oh, there's one. They're doing some camouflage, though. Like, I'm having a super hard time finding people. Okay. That's super useful to note that you can block all the damage, though. Like, for archers and things. That'll come in really handy. Oh, I wanted to knock him off. Yeah! I will say, doing maces and hammers, this just looks really cool. This game needs a photo mode. I think so, anyway. I will say, though, not using swords but having everything be maces and blunt weapons is pretty satisfying when it feels like you can just slam somebody in the head and just smack them. Oh, now here's a question. Do they block all the damage? Wow. Did I get carried away and go too far? This seems like a heavier hitting guy. Well, maybe not. I'm definitely not used to playing a game with Dark Souls style combat that like gives you a companion, though. That's really... I'm used to having to fight everybody on my own. So it's a little bit weird being able to like let him aggro things and stuff. It's kind of cool, though. It does concern me a little bit. I started to mention that before. It makes me wonder how much more difficult and everything ends up being, since they seem to have planned around expecting you to have a companion, whether it's AI or player-based. So that concerns me a bit. I'm leery of trying to find out if I can swim. Oh, I'm drowning. Oh, now that's interesting. It drains your stamina while you're drowning, and you kind of float around. Huh. So I'm assuming when your stamina runs out, then you sink and either die or get hurt or something. What's this? Scoria, or a small scoria stash. Prized by vagrants, small deposits of these ancient Litherian riches can be found hastily stowed in many hidden corners of the world. These few scoria flakes might not be worth much, but the horror on a vagrant's face when they come looking for its reward is reward enough. Yeah, Jokel, or Jokel. Jokel? I don't know how you're supposed to say his name. There's like 4 different ways I could see it. Okay, scoria is useful in crafting and decoration. Really? Decoration? Once mined as currency by the merchants of Litherius, many vagrant traders still collect them and use them as a means of exchange. So, essentially, it's Ashen's version of souls. Ooh, what is this? Oh, the spark. This ornate steel fire starter is made in the ancient listener style. The etched runes tell of the Ashen's fall to the dark plains, or darkened plains. So much of what we know is buried in the ash. Wait, listener. That would explain why he's huge. That must mean he's of the listener era. Which, if my memory serves, was the second era. It went the Elder Dark, then Listeners, and then Man. So we're men, so Baderon must be a listener, and we're trying to stop the Elder Dark from either... I can't quite tell if they're trying to consume the Ashen one? Or the Ashen, excuse me. A little bit of Dark Souls 3 trickling in there. Ashen one. Or if they're trying to stop it from resurrecting or absorb it. I'm not sure what they're wanting, but Baderon... the hammer guy, the blacksmith, said something about we have to stop the Elder Dark from doing something to the Ashen. And much like I said about the whole comparisons to Dark Souls are going to pop up, I can guarantee you I'm going to call it Ashen 1 for, like, a while. Just because I heard that so much in Dark Souls 3. Everything was Ashen 1. So... Actually, I have to admit, when this game was first announced, I wasn't sure if it was a spin-off or something. And then, of course, when you see the art style and stuff, you're like, no, not really. But when it was first announced that it was like Dark Souls style combat and it was called Ashen, I was like, is this going to be like a Dark Souls 3.5 where you have the Ashen continues, like the Ashen storyline? Whoa! That board was very lucky. Or I was very lucky that board was there. Can I pick up the spear? It said I had a spear slot. Well, I want to try... Ah, dagnabbit! Joko! Jakel, whatever. Somebody's got to explain to me how I'm supposed to say his name, because I'm just going to say his name 4 times in a row every time I want to talk to him. Ooh. Ooh, a feather. Does that increase your max... Oh, max health! Black Ashen feather acquired. Okay, now this is an interesting lore aspect that I find intriguing. The white ones increase stamina, but black feathers increase health. I find that intriguing from a story standpoint of if you're trying to help the Ash, or the Ashen, why would dark things increase my livelihood, longevity, health, etc.? It's interesting. It may just be a convenient game thing, but something I'm curious about. Okay, let's try and block a two-handed. Juggle! I'm theory testing here. Wow, it just straight up blocks damage. Ow. Unless you let yourself get smacked in the face. Okay, let me try a shield bash. Oh, that's fun. Woo! That was close. Boom. I should probably use one of these things. Alright. Okay. Let's see. What was this thing? Oh, the artifacts. An Ashsmith's hammer forged when the listeners held this world in the palms of their great hands. Baderon may well be the last master... Ashsmith. Yeah. Can't talk today. In existence. So that's kind of an indicator there that an Ashsmith's hammer... That's a tongue twister word, by the way. The Smiths were listeners, and he's the last Master Smith. By the way, Master Ash Smith, very bad words to put together. That's just so confusing and hard to say for me. So, henceforth, they will be referred to as Smiths, because Ash Smith is just too confusing, too tongue-tying. Alright, Badaron.
Give me my hammer, so I might awaken this sleeping stone.
Keep hammer. Actually, that would be interesting if it was an equipable thing and you could keep it, but I think it's just an artifact anyway.
Spark to the ritual stone. Bind your spirit to this place.
Do I want to do that? So this is like a waypoint for if you die, you respawn, I guess? I wonder what happens if you die before you actually activate that. Town founded. You have claimed Vagrant's Rest. Interesting. Speak to Badaron. Has joined my town. Well, that's interesting. So I guess you have... It's not only a waypoint, but a safe hub? Hub space? Interesting.
I have searched these foothills and found no sign of the Ashen. We must consult Geffen of the Birthing Waters. She will know where to look.
Geffen. They mentioned that in the opening prologue, didn't they? Something about Geffen drown in the ash or something?
Geffen can be found bathing within the Annex of Light. Bridge the waters and strike out for the cliffs. There lies your way in.
There's just so much about this game that I love. Like the music, art style, voice actors, it all just works really, really well.
Do you dream? In my sleep, I hear my brother's voice. He once traveled this way with my father. I wasn't with them. Ahu was eldest, so it was his duty alone. Now he echoes through my slumber, calling to me. Each time is the same. He stands atop an old listener ruin, calling to me. I have found the ruin by the lakeside. Will you help me climb it?
Sure. Oh, good. Oh, so he's not just a standard AI type character either. He's actually got like quests and things.
My father and brother never returned from their journey. I wandered for a long time looking for them. I know I won't find Aho alive, but I need to know what happened to him. The answer lies atop that lakeside ruin. My father and brother...
That's cool.
Geffen gave birth to humanity in the Third Golden Age. We are but wide-eyed children, begging for the wisdom of an ancient mother.
It's interesting that he refers to himself in there by saying we, yet pretty sure he's of the listener group.
Geffen has roamed the stone-vaulted waters since before the Ashen fell. Yet she is most fond of the Annex of Light, once a place of healing and peace.
Huh.
Geffen gave birth.
Cool. Well, I think this is a pretty good spot to stop for our first episode, since we kind of have our main hub area, base of operations going on. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here for this first episode. I think I'm going to be doing an episode of this every week at the moment, if everybody's enjoying it that much. The schedule is still a little bit up in the air because I've decided to postpone Astroneer until it hits full release in February. So for now, I think there'll be 2 Ashen episodes, one each week, even though I'm doing the every other schedule that I talked about last week. So the new schedule should be the Reverse Engineers episodes on Tuesday, Ashen on Thursday, Subnautica on Saturday, and then the Space Engineers Let's Play will be Sunday, and then the alternate week will be Inspiration episode Tuesday. Probably gonna do Ashen on Thursday again, and then I might do something like Empyreon on Saturday and the Let's Build on Sunday, and then we'll replace the second Ashen episode with Astroneer when it hits full release. But that's still kind of a work in progress, so if you guys don't want to see more like Empyreon or something, you'd rather have more Ashen episodes, or you'd rather me do multiple Let's Play episodes of the Space Engineer series, just let me know, because I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's the tentative schedule. for next week. So, but yeah, so that's where I'm at so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.